Right for the monster truck finals, Bret.
I'll tell you what, Ford versus Chevrolet, but more interestingly, the #1 qualifier against the #7 qualifier. Seldom do you see a driver who finished so far down in qualifying make it this far, but this young man, the psycho himself, Chuck Hawkins, has done some incredible things tonight with the Excalibur Chevy.
Well, that's for sure, but his competition, Rob Morris from Fort Worth, Texas, is certainly no slouch. He has got a lot of competition coming up.
One thing you have to remember is that this is Morris's first year in competition. He's been amazing in his rookie season.
He certainly has. We saw him first in Anaheim, and here we are now in Oklahoma, and he's still growing strong.
It's true. We saw him win that very first race, and it was an upset then. Now he goes into this final round only 6 months later as the serious favorite, and Chuck Hawkins in the Excalibur Chevy is going to be the underdog in this one. But I'll tell you, if Hawkins can leave the starting line as quickly as he has so far in this event, that Ford driver is going to be in trouble. He's going to need every bit of power.
Well, the crowd here in the arena is coming to life, and they are ready for this final.
I'll tell you, the people have already picked their favorites. They know who they want to win.
Those of you at home, pick out the one you think is going to win. Here we go.
The signal goes out to fire up each one of the 1,200 horsepower engines. And now it's serious business. The point standings at this point favor the blue Ford from Texas. Hawkins in the Excalibur Chevrolet has a chance now that Bigfoot is taken out by him in the very first round to make a big difference here.
Chevrolet against Ford. Here we go. Chevy closest to us. Ford in the final.
Absolutely incredible driving. He gets the whole shot again, but this time he came up with a lot more power than people thought he had, Jerry. Look at this, backing onto the cars. I know Chuck Hawkins, and he'll get out of that thing and give the crowd a victory salute, and you'll be able to hear their appreciation.
Super racing.
Unbelievable job. You can see all the safety equipment, the girdle, the neck brace, the helmet, the fire suit, every bit of it part of the U.S. Hobbit Association safety rules, but this crowd cannot believe that the Chevrolet pulled it off from the #7 qualifying position.
There he is. There's your winner. Chuck Hawkins, and the fans love it.
I just can't believe that he used the starting line advantages one more time in the final round. This man's reactions are simply incredible. He leaves the line, but watch this. Full power all the way up the ramp on the first car. Look at the height this thing achieves. A truck length advantage. He lands 10 feet past the finish line. Look at this landing. Completely crazy. That's why the crowd were on their feet.
Chuck Hawkins doing a great job. Well, here's Rob Morris now.
I'll tell you, as much as he had done so far at this event, low qualifier, the quickest time in every round, you got to admit that it looked like the Ford pilot had a serious advantage against the Chevrolet. He, too, used the same pretty much technique he had used throughout the event, landing on the last car and applying throttle at one last point before crossing the finish line. But he was an honest truck length behind on a short course. That's a bunch.
Well, Chuck Hawkins takes the win with Excalibur, and we're going to get him over here so we can talk to him.
I'd like to thank all my sponsors that helped me come here. Thanks.
Pretty incredible young man.
Unbelievable night of racing.
That's for sure, and this will probably change the point standing substantially as well. With Hawkins moving up, I would think that it probably made a difference with some of the other competitors that were here tonight. In the #10 position, Ray Perkowski out of St. Louis with the Evil Force Ford. #9 is Jeff Faintner in the high-voltage Jeep, one of the wild men of the tour. The 8th position, the Chevrolet AM/PM Rocket of Dale Boucher, but the big changes came in the #6 and #7 spots, where Rob Morris and Warren Davis in the Ford and Chevrolet entries, respectively, got knocked down a notch. And the sole reason that they dropped to 6th and 7th was because of the performance of Chuck Hawkins in the Excalibur Chevrolet here tonight. In fact, the reason Hawkins has moved into 5th is because by defeating Morris in the final round, he gained enough of a points advantage. The two were so close that he is now split in just by a few points into the #5 spot.
Competition is keen from 6 to 10, but let's look at the top 5 now.
Well, right now, Hawkins is currently 5th at 678 points, and he does have a way to go to pick up any distance on Jim Reese in the Ecology Eliminator, which is 4th.
That's right. #3 will be Rob Fuchs from Woodstock, Illinois, with First Blood. Then comes Jack Willman, who holds down the #2 spot from Granite City, Illinois. And still #1, that big blue Ford from St. Louis, Bigfoot with 1,259 points.
It's amazing considering the fact that Bigfoot has lost in the first round here tonight that he can still hold on to that lead. But sooner or later, we're going to see more of these Bigfoot versus Taurus shootouts. Rob Fuchs, last year's Rookie of the Year, has moved into an extremely strong position in number 3. He could actually affect the outcome of this with 6 more months left to go on the U.S. Hobbit Association schedule. Now, in the super modified mud racing point standings, there haven't been too many changes all year long. In the 10th spot, the old man of mud racing, Clay Langley from Independence, Missouri, has the Nitro Express moved up into the top 10 for the first time this season after a dismal start to 1990. In the 9th spot, Chad Miller's Instant T from Ohio, which we saw go end over end at our last event in Tampa, Florida, has still managed to hold on to 9th after repairing that vehicle. Then the Blue Max out of Ohio, 8th. The Bad Habit of Byron Tinky out of Iowa is 7th, and Ron Smith's Michigan-based Gold Fever is in the number 6 spot. But no one, absolutely no one, has been able to touch the man who has still led this mud racing series for the 3rd straight year since the very first weekend of this season. That, of course, is Tom Martin in the Mud Patrol. Right now, Melvin Brown's other machine, he also owns the Blue Max, his other machine, Red Heat, is number 5. The Stumpy's T entry of Jody Kelly out of Georgia is 4th. Jim Weber's performance here tonight made the only significant change in the mud racing standings. His American-made entry is now 3rd, with the Ford-powered entry of the Ward family from Pennsylvania, the Mystic Warrior 2nd, and Tom Martin leading by a ton in the Mud Patrol. And, Jerry, you got to admit, after 2 straight world championships, Tom Martin looks like he's going to lead this thing again for a 3rd straight year. Well,